We will get that to you right away.
Thank you. Mr. Cavanagh, good evening and welcome.
Thank you. I've been here before. As you know, I live in Warwick. My wife and I have 9 kids, 17 grandchildren, and counting. So we're in favor of life. And I'm going to shorten my remarks because I know it's time, and I think an excellent presentation was made, and I'm surprised that you don't have the Linton memos. There are 3 of them in response to House issues, and even in response to the Sub-A that came out Friday. There's an excellent memo, and we've all looked at it, and there's a letter from a number of local lawyers here about this statute that's being circulated.
Just
we'll
so
make sure
you know,
get that.
I've read them, so I know that they're out there. I just don't have them in front of me, so I want you to feel confident at least that they've come to us.
Fair enough. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about how excessive this law is. It's already been covered. What I want to focus on really is this whole premise that you need to codify Roe v. Wade because Roe v. Wade is under threat. There's a clear and present danger that Roe v. Wade is going to be reversed or modification. Now, this is the 3rd year we've all been here with this premise. And my whole point here is it's untrue. There's no reason that you have to rush this in and pass it because there's no case pending before the Supreme Court at this time that challenges Roe v. Wade. And those of us who are lawyers and people who aren't lawyers know that it's not a matter of weeks or even months when these cases get up there. It's got to go through the federal court, the circuit court, the appellate, the Supreme Court, and we'll know about it. We'll read about it. We read about what happened in Virginia. We read about what happened in New York. It woke everybody up in the last 6 weeks. I was here in the House before all that came out. Now, people, you've gotten calls. There are people who now realize how bad this is. And this is like the modest side of the agenda nationally. No, they wouldn't say what Virginia said, this bill, but it's real close. There's no way it's a codification of Roe v. Wade. No way. But this idea that there's a threat and you've got to do this, it doesn't exist. You don't have, and you know, they've really pointed out something, and I was a little surprised. The sponsor of the bill couldn't even answer some very good questions. Those are, and you know, maybe she does need to rely on people who wrote it, and there's a big agenda here. This is bigger than us, okay? There's something going on here. No definition of health. Why not? Why wouldn't we take the time to define health here and what this means and take precautions? There's no rush. We could take this and do this in the next year. Is there anybody on the other side who tried to do that? No, because this is a push it through, go for it, fear-mongering, media blast, get you afraid, Roe v. Wade, Trump, conservative judges. We're all in a panic, and we're going to take away health from these women. The federal protections that Roe v. Wade established and the cases after it are in full effect right now. They've been in effect for a number of years. There's no threat to them. I guarantee you a year from now we'll be here and there wouldn't be any change in that law. But you're being asked in a rushed way to take this language, which is really ripping out some statutes and policies that we had, embedding in it expansion of these rights. And why would you do that? You don't have to do that. And I, you know, I'm deviating from what I was going to say, but I just want to say this. I know, look, people know how hard this is for you because you're trying to do what the people want. Some of you might have had to get elected, had to not commit for pro-life, right? Because people are awake now. They know now. They know what's going on now. But I can understand. You would not betray anyone by voting no here. Why? Because there's no threat to Roe v. Wade. That's the whole premise of this. They're telling you, we have to codify Roe v. Wade. It's going to be taken away. It's going to be terrible. The boogeyman is coming. It's coming. It isn't. It isn't even apparent that that's true. But in the meantime, do we have a health definition? No. Do we have discipline? No. Do we know? No. And that's the problem. And you've got colleagues, they're going to push you. They push the leadership. The media's on their side. I find it amazing that the Providence Journal will never refer to pro-life. They're not going to do that, right? They're not going to do that. They're going to call it anti-abortion. I find it amazing that someone says that there's a reproductive health. This is about life and death. This isn't about winning or losing. This is life and death. And we're going to rush this through and get it done instead of having the type of protections we'd want to have so that we could answer the questions that Senator Dela Cruz asked and make sure that someone wouldn't just, oh, mental health, that's, oh, well, that's okay. 8 months? Little one, 8 months. Nobody's going to die or have, no one's going to die if they don't abort that baby. They can deliver that baby. So we've got, this is scary, actually, that this is going on. We have a state that really, sure, in the past we put restrictions on abortion because the instinct of the people is that this is life and death. But the idea that we would codify this under some pretense, and for someone to come in here and say, we've been trying to get this for 6 years. We've had the protections of abortion for women for many, many years here. Why are we doing this? Why are you being forced to do this? You could tell people, I didn't vote against abortion rights. There's no reason for me to vote for this law at this time. There's no threat to the existing constitutional rights for abortion right now in this state. None. There isn't any. And in the meantime, let's go to work on finding out these problems with late-term abortion, et cetera, et cetera. That's how this should be done. And you can look everyone right in the face and say that. And you're not voting against. You're just saying, I'm not going to do it like this. I don't have to do it like this. And nobody's rights are going to be jeopardized over these next months. Nobody's. Those are in place. So I'm sorry. I could say a lot of other things, and I know you could too. And I said some of them in my papers, but just look, people understand how hard this is, but don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Let's do the right thing. Don't be bullied. Don't be pushed. Do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cavanagh. Any questions or comments for these witnesses? Thank you.